Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday session, our Sunday health session. As usual, being a Sunday, we meet and we talk about health, how we can improve our health, how we can protect ourselves from getting lifestyle diseases, and how we can live a longer, healthier life. Today, we have a very interesting topic. We'll be talking a little bit about farming, especially about organic farming. And one may wonder, why organic farming? The idea behind good health has been, and even in the food that we eat, is to avoid taking in a lot of food which has chemicals or preservatives or that kind of thing, because chemicals in your body are toxic and they can mess up your health. And when we go to organic farming, we are talking about a way of farming where you don't use chemicals and toxins, pesticides and stuff like that excessively, because as it has proven, it can be disastrous to your health. And today we are looking at it and saying, how can we grow our crops organically and ensure that at the end of the day, whatever you are putting on the table has a nutritive value and doesn't have chemicals which can actually harm your body. And that is our topic for today. For those who don't know me, my name is Fred Gishuki. Fred is an entrepreneur with Neolife International, a business builder. Joined Neolife to make money, but in Neolife, I found many things. Top on the list was health. I came in looking for money, but my first benefit, I always say, was health, because my parents were suffering because of high blood pressure and ulcers, and they were actually sorted out by the products of Neolife. And that gave me so much confidence to share with other people about these products and about this opportunity. Proceeded to build a huge business, retired early by the age of 30 into the business. And the business has proven to be so lucrative. I've been able to help so many people make an extra income to start with, then live exceptional lives courtesy of Neolife. But today we are going to talk about health mainly and about farming, and I'm going to get into it right now so that we can see how can you farm organically and why should you farm organically. That's very, very important. And I'm just going to get started right here. So the first thing is to look at what are some of the challenges that the farmers have get on a daily basis. What are some of the things that they encounter that hamper their growth? Because when you're a farmer, you want to get maximum productivity from the farm, and you do everything in your power to do that, because the reason why you went to do some farming is because you wanted to actually make some money out of it. And one of the challenges that farmers face is when they use pesticides and fungicides, which are actually chemicals, they end up getting negative side effects from them. And I know we've all had an experience, we've all had stories of people who have fallen sick because of using chemicals or using toxins for a long time. But not many people draw the relationship between using toxic chemicals and their health. And that's why you find that for some of the farm inputs, you're told spray today, give it 7 days, then harvest. And you find somebody has sprayed and harvested the same day, and he proceeds to sell the produce to the market. And this leads to various problems which come about from the consumers of the said produce. Now, some of the challenges that you can get could be things like birth defects, tumors, issues of breast cancer. I remember doing a session in a place, one of the areas in Rift Valley, where they grow cabbages. And after I did a session, I was telling them about the importance of protecting themselves from the chemicals that they spray on a daily basis. And a lady stood up and told me, actually, what you have said is very true, because where I live, my neighbors, 4 of my neighbors have gotten breast cancer. And they've always been wondering, why are they, I mean, it's upcountry, you know, upcountry usually has very fresh air. They eat fresh fruit from this shamba. But how comes her neighbors, 4 ladies, her neighbors had gotten breast cancer? And she said that what you have just talked about could be the answer, that could be the reason why they have actually gotten breast cancer. Now, we are not saying it is the reason, because we haven't done the scientific tests and all that based on what they were using in the shamba. But the fact that 4 people in that area had gotten breast cancer brought a lot of question marks as to where were they getting the pollution or the toxins that were actually causing this. And some of the things that pesticides can do is cause genetic changes in your body, blood disorders, skin irritations, neurological effects, mental effects, even affecting the fetus. And some of the other things that will happen is what we call endocrine disruptors. These are chemicals that interferes with the body's hormonal reproduction effects. And this results in various things. Some of the cancers that you get, like breast cancer, prostate, are because of hormonal imbalance. And if you're exposed to a lot of chemicals, then you end up having challenges like malformation in development, interference with reproduction, increased cancer risk, disturbances of the immune and the nervous system function. Chemicals, bottom line, chemicals are not good for your body, and you need to reduce as much as possible the exposure that you get from chemicals, be they farming chemicals, be they chemicals from the food and the drink that you're exposed to, the environment that you're living in, the water that you're drinking, as much as possible. And we all know that most of the chemicals that are used in the farm end up in the rivers, and we end up drinking that water. And that can also cause other problems in your body. So as much as possible, it makes more sense to reduce the amount of chemicals that you're using in the shamba and increase the amount of organic materials that you're using to grow your crops. And that is why we are here today, because we want you to live a longer, healthier life. And a longer, healthier life means that the food that you're taking is free from chemicals as much as possible. And a recent survey about pesticides shows that children who are exposed to pesticides not only get challenges as far as reproductive systems, but they have residues which are actually can become cancerous later in life. So this is just evidence, and you can also find that even the breast milk that they get when they are suckling from their parents ends up having residues of chemicals. So bottom line, what you're saying is reduce the amount of chemicals that you're using in the shamba. Now, we are not saying that all the chemicals will cause negative side effects to your body. But what you're saying is that you need to reduce as much as possible, because you may not be sure which chemical will have which effect on your body. And if you can do 100% organic farming, the better off and for you, because then you're assured that you're not getting any chemical into your system. Now, what is organic farming? It can be understood as an agricultural method that doesn't make use of chemical fertilizers or pesticides. And it thrives on the benefits obtained from recycling, use of natural products, green manure, biological pest control methods, and other cultivation techniques which are employed, which are free from chemical fertilizers. Yeah. And why should you do organic farming? For various reasons. Number one, the products taste better. The food is fresher. They have more antioxidants. You get more value from the products that you harvest. They are not genetically modified. You know the story about GMOs. There are no antibiotics used, free from pesticides. They are better for the environment. Like I said earlier, when you use chemicals, most of it ends up in your drinking, in the water that you drink, and which is bad for you and bad for your animals. And eventually it ends up on your table. And then you don't get toxins or poisons when you do organic farming. So what are some of the solutions, or what should you do to ensure that you're farming organically, or to ensure that you don't have chemicals on the food that ends up on your table? A few things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is that if you buy the vegetables from the supermarket and from all these sources, you can wash them thoroughly with LDC to remove any farming chemicals used. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you can detoxify your body often, because detoxification will cleanse any chemicals that you've already been exposed to from your bloodstream. The third thing that you can do is you can practice organic farming methods. And we have products that support you to farm organically. Supergrow, Super 10, LDC, LC30. These are some of our products which actually help you, that you can use to ensure that you're farming organically. Because like we said earlier, organic farming is very, very critical if you're going to maintain a healthy body. Now, the products that we deal with, of course, came about from Neolife International, and that is our founder of Neolife. And his motto was very simple, and this still has been very, very simple, is to deal with products that are natural, that are organic, that do not have any chemical side effects. In fact, I've had a chance to visit California, the headquarters of Neolife. And in California, we got to see how they go about in the production of the products of Neolife. And they actually go to the farm where the raw materials, which is food, is being produced, and they test the soil to make sure that the soil is free from chemicals, that no chemical pesticides or fungicides or fertilizers have been used. And it's only that when your produce is chemical free that is accepted by Neolife to be used as a raw material in the production of the supplements of Neolife. So they are very strict on the farming practices that are used in producing the raw materials that are used by Neolife products. And for the very simple reason that Neolife believes in based in nature, but backed by science. Now, let's look at specifically one of the Neolife products called Supergrow. And let's see, how does it work? How can you use Supergrow to organically grow your crops? And I'll just go into it and just share a little bit about Supergrow, what it is and what does it do. Supergrow is a multi-purpose agricultural adjuvant. It's actually formulated to work with modern crop treatments when you're spraying it in the shamba. And it has been proven to actually do a few things for you. The first thing is that it improves soil penetration and availability of water. Second thing is that it improves pesticide performance. Third thing is that it improves fungicide performance. And lastly, it improves the crop yield. So you can actually use it together with other farm inputs that you're using in the shamba. Now, how does it work? Simply put, is that it makes water wetter. It makes water wetter and optimizes soil penetration of water. It reduces water runoff and evaporation. And if you look at the diagram on the screen, you find that when you're using Supergrow, what happens is that the roots of the crops, usually there is a very hard layer of soil that we call the hard pan that comes in below the top layer. And usually the crops are not able to penetrate below the hard pan. Now, when you spray Supergrow on your crops, it breaks down the soil structure so that now the roots of the crops can access nutrients that are lying below the hard pan. This is where all the nutrients are lying. And when you do normal farming, most of the roots of the crops just remain on the topsoil. The topsoil is where all the fertilizer and all these things are lying, and it's usually a bit acidic. And you find that your production will always go down when you're doing farming without Supergrow. But when you use Supergrow, you'll find that now the crop can access the nutrients down here. And that is why you find that at the end of the day, you are able to increase the yield of the production in the shamba. You can even get double and triple production by using Supergrow. Now, Supergrow is not a fertilizer. It doesn't have any active ingredient in it. It's just like a catalyst. It enables the crop to access nutrients from the soil. And some of the other benefits of Supergrow. Sorry, just a minute. It is a very versatile product, and it can be used wherever where you are using water, and it is easy to apply. You can mix it with fertilizers, fungicides, pesticides, and herbicides if you want to do that. You can use it with manure. I remember a case of a farmer who had planted maize and he'd been using fertilizer for many, many years. And when I told him about Supergrow, he got very excited and he said he wanted to try it. So I told him, okay, fine, you can use it with fertilizer or without. He said, I'm going to use it without. So he decided to use it together with manure from the shamba. And the exciting thing is that he planted maize with it and he got more than double what he was getting before. And one of the things that I learned from that is that if you've been using fertilizer for many years, you can decide to avoid fertilizer for a season or two and use Supergrow and manure so that now the fertilizer that has been lying in the soil can be utilized by the crop. And that will help the pH of the soil to go down. So it's something that you can do, and you'll find that at the end of the day, you will be able to get very, very good results. Now, Supergrow is a sticker by itself. It has, you can actually use it as a sticker. It's also an emulsifier. It emulsifies farm inputs, and it's also a spreader. It actually spreads the farm input that you're putting in. And the other benefit is that when you're using Supergrow, you use less in the way of farm inputs. In fact, for the farmers I've dealt with, you find that if they were buying 3 bags of fertilizer, they only buy 1. So you find that the 1 is able to spread and be utilized in the farm very, very well. So you find that at the end of the day, you are saving money by actually using Supergrow. You save quite a bit of money because the farmer, you know, for a farmer, for you to make profit, you look at how much input are you putting in, how much fertilizer are you buying, and what is the productivity. Now with Supergrow, what happens is that the input is minimized. So you use less fertilizer and the output is maximized. So your profit is larger when you're using Supergrow. Now, the best way to save water is to make it available to the plant. And Supergrow does exactly that because it makes water wetter. And it ensures that every drop of water that you use in the shamba will be properly utilized by your crop. I was dealing with a case of a farmer who was watering his crops on a daily basis. And he started using Supergrow, and he found that now he only needed to water his farm 3 times a week. And you can imagine the amount of savings that he was now getting out of that. In terms of fuel for pumping the water, in terms of labor, in terms of so many things, in terms of the water itself, he actually started saving quite a bit just by using Supergrow. And that's one thing I always tell farmers is that you actually save when you buy Supergrow. It's not an added input that adds on to your cost, but an input that actually saves you money from what you're actually using before. Now, by making water wetter, it boosts its ability to provide the life-sustaining moisture into the plant root system. And you find that when you use Supergrow, it's able to, the water is able to sink to the waterbed. And one of the things that happens with Supergrow is that, let's say you have rains that are happening and they are very heavy. When you spray Supergrow, it breaks down the soil structure. It enables the water to sink to the waterbed, and you develop a reservoir of water on the waterbed. So when the sun comes out and it becomes dry again and there's a lot of heat, this water comes to the surface. So the crop is able to continue utilizing Supergrow. And you find that at the end of the day, your crop continues growing, even when the weather or the environment is actually very, very dry. Your neighbors' crops could be drying up, but yours are thriving in the dry conditions. Yeah. So as you can see there, it actually makes water available where it is needed by the plant, yeah, at the root system. Now, let's look at the Supergrow difference briefly. One of the things about Supergrow is that it is highly concentrated. You simply dilute it 1 to 1,000. That is 20 ml to 20 liters of water. It is safe, easy to use, and to handle. It is non-toxic, non-caustic, non-flammable. It's a multi-purpose product for both indoor and outdoor plants, and it has a proven performance. What we are sharing with you is not theory, it is something that has been proven. And I'm going to share with you some statistics of a research that was done by University of Nairobi, which was engaged by the Pest Control Board to actually do a research and they did a research for about 4 years. So they planted 8 times and they gave us the results that they found with Supergrow. What were the benefits? So the first one is looking at maximizing crop yields and increasing your profits. And they looked at, in the case of pesticides, they looked at crops were grown with only pesticides and water. Sorry, let's start with fungicide. They used fungicides first, and in this case, they were dealing with French beans, and they were looking at trying to eradicate the angular leaf spot disease, and they used fungicides with Supergrow. And in another control experiment, they used fungicide with water. Now, the resulting effect is that the yields, in the case where they used fungicide plus Supergrow, was much higher than the place where they actually used fungicides and water only. Now, they went on to try the same thing with pesticides, and they used pesticides on French beans to deal with white flies and aphids. And they used pesticide only. And then in one case, in the control, they mixed pesticide with Supergrow. And again, they found that the yield where they used pesticide and Supergrow was considerably higher than where they didn't use Supergrow. So that proved that Supergrow is able to help the crop actually deal with the problem that it is facing. Whether when you're using pesticides, when you're dealing with aphids or white flies, or whether you're dealing with angular leaf spot disease, when you use Supergrow, you get better benefits, and the yield actually shows you that you are able to manage the condition very well. Now, they went on and they did the same to tomatoes, and again, the results were similar. They used pesticides. They were again dealing with aphids and white flies, and they used pesticides only. And the control experiment, they did pesticide and Supergrow. And again, in this case, the yield was higher where they used Supergrow and pesticide. And again, they did the same again for early blight in tomatoes. They used fungicide with Supergrow, got a control, fungicide only. And again, where Supergrow was used, the productivity was much, much higher. So here I want to introduce 2 other products that are actually 3 products that Neolife uses. Neolife has what we call Super 10. Super 10 is one of our detergents. It's a heavy duty, it's an air freshener. It's a cleaner in the house. Then we have LDC. LDC, you shower with it, you wash your utensils. It does a lot around the house. It keeps your kitchen clean. Then we have LC30. LC30 is a commercial cleaning product that actually is actually used in most of these corporates, and it does a very good job for cleaning the house. Now, these products are basically detergents. But as you know, with Neolife, all our products are natural and organic. And you find that when you use the product in the kitchen, you can take that water, pour it on your shamba, and you find that it doesn't negatively affect your crops. And what we have found is that when you take Super 10 and LDC and you mix with a bit of Supergrow, it actually helps you to control aphids and whiteflies and other insects that are actually biting or messing up your crop. And if you want to avoid pesticides in the shamba, you can use this and it can actually work very well for you. The other product is LC30. LC30 will still do the same thing. It will also help you to control the pests in the shamba. But another thing about LC30 is that it has urea. And as you know, urea is good for your crops. And it also enhances productivity in the shamba. So these are products that are available. My experience with these products, I remember a case where a farmer in Narok was farming wheat. And he told me he was having a problem with rust. And he asked me, okay, Fred, what can you use for rust? I told him, let's do Super 10. So he bought Super 10 and he mixed it 40 ml to 20 ml and he sprayed it on his crops. And the results he got were fantastic. He was so excited about it. So these products work. And at the end of the day, you find that your productivity is actually improved. Now, let's look at some of the testimonies in the field and where Supergrow has been used. You can see in the case of bananas, you can see that picture of a farmer who used Supergrow. You can see guavas, the size, the quality of the guavas was actually improved after using Supergrow. In the case of coffee, it increases the yield, and the berries, the size and the weight is actually improved. I remember a case whereby my parents used Supergrow. Initially, they were a bit skeptical. It took them a while before they actually agreed to use it. And what happened is that their yield increased dramatically. They could not believe what actually happened in the farm. So Supergrow does do very well for coffee. Actually, anything that grows, you find that Supergrow will actually make a positive difference. Beans as well, it increases the crop yield and also improves on the quality. Cassavas, tubers, they do very well. I've had cases of farmers who have used it on potatoes. And there is, in fact, one farmer who was harvesting about 15 bags from his farm used Supergrow, and he was actually able to get 3 times that harvest that he was getting before. There you are with the malengas right there. You can see the kind of results you're talking about. So that is it on Supergrow. Just a few thoughts and a few products that you can actually use to ensure that you are growing crops organically, to improve the yield in your shamba, and more importantly, to protect your health from all the ravages that come as a result of using chemicals. Now, before we finish, I want to invite a lady. She's a business builder, very successful in our business, but she's also an avid user of our products. And she has a testimony of how she has used Supergrow and other products of Neolife and how they have worked for her. So I'm going to bring up Faith Ngaira to just come and briefly share her story about the benefits that she has gotten from using the Neolife product. So Faith, are you there? Faith, are you there? Okay, I think let me just try and see if I can get her. Maybe she's getting problems unmuting herself. Faith, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself. I can see you. Please unmute yourself. I can see you, but I cannot hear you. I think she's having a problem. Faith, you're muted. Please unmute, Faith. I can see you, but I cannot hear you. I think Faith is getting a problem in unmuting, so let's hope she unmutes so that she can be able to. Faith, can you hear me? Please text on the chat if you're having a problem unmuting. Sorry, guys, let me just see if I can help her to unmute. I think she...
Now I can unmute.
Okay.
Apologies for that.
Sorry, no problem.
Yes, I tried to unmute, but the system told me that the host is not allowing me to unmute.
Oh, sorry for that.
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. My name is Faith Ngaira. Faith Ngaira is a farmer. For today, Faith Ngaira is a farmer. I'll let you know what I do when I finish at the end. Now, Faith Ngaira farms a number of products. I started using Supergrow a few years ago. I remember I planted plants in some spinach on the farm, and when I planted the spinach, it grew, but when it grew, the leaves were sort of like burnt. They were shriveled. So what I did, I took my soil from Kakamega and brought it to the National Agricultural Laboratories. There, I was told my soil was extremely acidic, and I was advised on what to do. Now, I grow a number of crops on my farm. I grow tea, I grow trees, I grow maize, and a host of other grasses for feeding cows. Now, initially, I would plant 5 acres of maize, and I would do 8 bags at the end. I wondered what was wrong until I normalized my soil and I came across Supergrow. Now, when I used Supergrow, my yields really improved. I used to do 6,000 kilograms of green leaf. I started using it in the middle of the tea year, and at the end of the year, I did 10,000 kilograms of green leaf. I continued using Supergrow, and nowadays, out of my 2.5 acres of tea, I get a yield of 16,000 kilograms to 20,000 kilograms per annum. Imagine getting from 6,000 kilograms, I'm almost doing triple. Now, because of what I do, the tea factory in my locality uses my farm as a demonstration farm. Students come to learn from it, and it really makes me happy because I'm giving back to the community. I also grow bananas. I hope I can share my screen. I cannot share. I grow bananas, and my banana, you cannot lift them because of super grow. Everything I do, all my yields on the farm have tripled. I almost gave up farming because of the bad yields, but because of super grow,
Sorry,
I'm
Faith.
doing. Yes.
You can share. You can share. I've made you a co-host.
You made me a co-host. I need to share. I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see. Let me go to.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes. Now, that is super grow. We've talked about it. Faith, as a farmer, uses super grow on every living plant on the farm. I want to show you some. That is my banana. That banana was purely grown organically. Now, I used to have very small bananas, but because of super grow, that is the banana that I am producing. That is Bracharia grass, imported from Nyeri to Kakamega County, and farmers come to buy from me because of super grow. That is tea. That tea had just been pruned, and as I said, I have got 10,000 bushes. That's about 2.5 acres. I used to do 6,000 kilograms per annum. Now I am doing 16 to 20,000 kilograms per annum. It is really, really wonderful. That is maize. That maize, I took that photo when the maize was exactly 1 month old. Now, I have a testimony about growing maize this year. This year, I was late in planting my maize. So everybody was uptight. Even my husband was saying, now you are late, you are late, you are late. You know what? When I soaked my maize beans, my maize seeds in super grow, planted, and I harvested before everybody else. And from that small piece, it was about 1/4 acre. I tried this on 1/4 acre, and I had a lot of maize. That's another banana. That is me at 69 on my farm on the 12th of May this year. Look at that banana. The bananas that I produce, we are able to get income on the farm because of super grow. That is again tea. And on the usage of super grow, I would say you use as Fred has said. However, there are some areas where when there's no rain, use your super grow in the evenings, spray your crops in the evenings so that they can make use of the dew. And in the dry season, you use super grow weekly. You spray weekly, but in the evenings. But in the wet season, when it is raining, you spray super grow twice in a month, but in the mornings. Now, I use everything on the farm, all the things that I do on the farm, I grow them organically. I have reduced the fertilizers that I used to use on the farm. I've reduced the fungicides that I used to use on the farm. And I can assure you that I am saving a lot of money. At 69, coming to 70, I really feel good because I'm also using the products. I'm an avid user of the products. I use the health products. And at 69, I can assure you, I can jump up and down. I do my exercises. I don't have any health challenges. Ever since I joined Neolife in 2015, I have not had an opportunity to see a doctor. I just go to check my vitals. My mother, who had very serious arthritis, is now walking. She now has other challenges because of age that I'm addressing because of these products. So let's use the products. Let's talk to farmers. When we do organic farming, we reduce the diseases that we have. When we do organic farming, we become healthy. When we do organic farming, or even our crops are healthy. And for me, I say Supergrow behaves like a vitamin for plants. You see, when you go to see a doctor and you are not able to eat, what does the doctor give you? The doctor gives you a multivitamin. Even if it is a child, even if it is you, you are given a multivitamin, and those multivitamins are synthetic. Let's use our vitamins of Neolife. Now, Supergrow being a multivitamin for plants, let's use it to increase our crop yields so that we can make this world a healthier and a happier place. As I said, my name is Faith. I'm an electrical engineer by profession. I have gone through all that is talked about, salary and whatever. And when I came to Neolife, I'm able to get profits, and we are told profits are better than wages. I can assure you, since you work online, because of the adverts that we do, you can just be seated, you get an order, and money counts. So let's all work and work. As the Bible tells us, we should not eat when we have not worked. But when we work in Neolife, we are rewarded. Thank you, Fred, for giving me this opportunity. The notice was so short, I was unable to get more photos from my farm, the most current photos. But I can assure you, for me, an old lady, if an old lady like me can use the products, if an old lady like me can use Supergrow to increase yields, what about you who are young people? Research has been done in Kenya, and it says most of the farmers are above 60 years. I would encourage the young people to come and join us to make our nation a better nation, to make our nation a healthier nation, to make our people live well, to make our people look well, to make our people feel better. So, as for me, I'll continue using these products, and my target, and I know I'll live up to age 120 because I'm feeling healthy. As a grandmother like me, I forgot to say I'm married to one man. I have 4 children and n factorial grandchildren. I really feel good, and everybody feels so good. I'm happy. Thank you, Fred, for giving this opportunity. I will be able to take more photos of the products, but when you called me about this, I was course, the Wonder Drop. Let us use it to make the world a healthier and a happier place. Thank you, Fred.
Wow, thank you so much, Faith. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. There you have it, guys. You've heard it from Faith. She's not talking theory. She's talking practical. It's what she has done. And I mean, that's the beauty about Neolife. With Neolife, we don't tell you theories. We don't tell you this might or might not work. Because you see, with Neolife, when you come into Neolife and you become a distributor, the first thing you have to do is use the products yourself. You have to see how the products work for yourself. Before you go and share this experience and the knowledge with somebody else, you have to use it on yourself. You have to use yourself as a guinea pig. And Faith has just shared how she has used Supergrow, and the production, wow, it's amazing. That is so amazing. It's actually mind-blowing. And like she has said, for us young people, you need to take up the challenge and get into farming and do it and make the money. And especially with Supergrow, you'll find that you'll actually do it and do it very, very well. So as we come to the end of this session, just like Faith has said, I would encourage you, if you're here and you're a guest, maybe this is your first time to come on this call, you have two choices. You can either buy the product from the person who has invited you to this call, or you can join and become a member of Neolife and become a distributor and buy the product for yourself. And for me, I always say it is better to join and become a member, become a distributor, and start using the products from inside, just like Faith did. And you'll see the benefits of the products. And then you can also do it as a business. She has just mentioned she sits in the house and she's able to get an order coming in and she makes money. I mean, it's a case of working smart rather than working hard. And when you do it more seriously, you start growing the business like I did, and you become a director, you become a world team member. Then you start seeing your income increasing as far as Neolife. You get to 50,000, 100 and beyond, 1,000 in a month. And that is possible, that you can do. And the good thing is that you start on a part-time basis. You don't have to leave what you're doing right now. This is something you can do extra in the evenings, whenever you're free. And you're actually helping people access very high quality products, which give them better yield in the shamba. So they make more money, even as you make money. And you know, when you solve the problems of other people around you, then God has a way of uplifting you. Like I mentioned earlier, I joined this business, I became a distributor, went on to become a world team member, started traveling the world. I've been able to travel to more than 20 countries, courtesy of Neolife. Talk about America, talk about South Africa, talk about Nigeria, so many places of the world. And when I travel with my wife, fully paid for by this company. For me, I came in because of money. You could come in, there are many people who come in because of health. Some come in because of the products, and they find that there is a business and they run with the business as well. So don't limit yourself, get into Neolife, become a distributor. When I finish this call, ask the person who invited you, how can I become a distributor of these products? How can I start buying at wholesale price for my own use? And I also want to do it as a business, because that is where the best deal is at. Not just by buying from somebody, but by getting in and buying for yourself, start using it. And as you can see, like Faith has just shared, she's able to solve other people's problems. She has talked about the mom and other people that she has helped with these products, because she is a distributor of Neolife. And I can see she wants to say something. Faith, you wanted to add something?
Yes, I want to add something. I say my why for joining Neolife was health. I had serious bronchial asthma, and I used to be down every 3 weeks. Since 2015, I had been stopped from taking milk, rice, and spices. Imagine, milk, rice, and spices. Now, because of these products, I have not been down ever since I joined this opportunity. I have not seen a doctor. I just go to check my vitals. That is the power of these products. Wow. Let us all use the products. Let's make a decision. Some of us procrastinate. When you procrastinate to join this business, you may not be able to save somebody else. If I had not joined, the number of people I have assisted, the number of people who would not have had children, the number of people who are diabetic, the number of people who have blood pressure, the number of people who have arthritis, the number of people who have asthma. So by you not taking up this opportunity, you are doing a disservice to the world. You are not helping other people. And in this business, the more people you help, the more you earn. I'm telling you, profits are better than wages. It would really please you if you came home with 5,000 in your pocket when you left home in the morning to go to town with only 200 bob. That is really wonderful. The more people you help, the more you earn and the more satisfaction that you get. Imagine that woman who would not have had a child if Faith had not joined your life. God bless you all.
Fantastic, fantastic, guys. And I believe that is a perfect place to end it all. You've heard it from Faith. She has given you a very powerful message right there of the benefits that she has got and the people's lives that she has touched with these products and with this business. And I can tell you, you can be a solution to the society. You can actually help so many people by getting involved in your life. I can see there are many questions on the call on how to use the product, how to apply it, Supergrow. I can tell you, just talk to the person.
My number, I can send my number. You can give them my number.
No problem. We will be able to communicate and we'll be able to ask the questions. Just share the questions with the person who invited you and the questions will be able to get to me and we'll be able to answer all those questions. But I can tell you, you can spray Supergrow, you can spray it on the leaves, you can spray it on the stem. In some cases, before you plant, you can even spray in the soil and then you plant, or you can soak the seeds overnight like what Faith shared, and then plant the next day and you get very good results that way. So there are some options that you can do. As far as the concentration is concerned, 20 ml for 20 liters is good. But if you have a place where the soil is very overutilized, then you can also increase the concentration to 40 ml or even to 60 ml. I've had cases where farmers are complaining of waterlogging, and I tell them put 60 ml to 20 liters and they spray and the water sinks and the waterlogging is gone. So Supergrow is flexible, it's easy to use, and the person who invited you will be able to give you the information. Of course, if he cannot be able to give you an answer, he'll talk to his sponsor, who will talk to the leaders in your life, and will be able to give you the solution. So feel free to talk to the person who invited you, and he'll give you all the solutions that you're looking for. Otherwise, guys, it was great talking to you guys. Great having this session with you. The recording of this presentation will be available later today, so you can be able to use it. You can be able to share it with a friend so that they can also learn from it. And next week we'll be back again. We'll be talking about another aspect of health, another aspect of improving our lifestyles and improving our wealth. So I wish you a restful Sunday evening. God bless you all, and see you at the top. Thank you and God bless. Thank you, Faith, for your testimony.
Fred.